With the swiftness of a deadly cosmic ray, the Earth is invaded by indestructible moon monsters. Their ghastly mission, death for all humans. What astounding technical developments are being made to protect mankind? Robot Monster brings you an actual preview of the devastating forces of our future. Unsuspected revelations of incredible horrors that will terrify you with their brutal reality.
There is no escape from me. Very well. I will recalculate. Your death will be indescribable. Fool humans, there is no escape.
We are the members of Do It or Die. D-I, D-I, D-I. Watch us make bimbo as easy as pie. D-I, D-I, D-I. We are tough, you bet, filled with college pep. Bring him on, we cry. D-I, D-I, D-I. B-I-M-B-O. Bimbo.
Mystic order of the
Boom boom hatcha, boom boom hatcha, boom boom hatcha, boom boom hatcha.
Wanna be a member? Wanna be a member?
No. There's the way out. Oh.
Wanna be a member? Wanna be a member?
No. Ouch! Oh, yeah, come on. Oh.
Wanna be a member? Wanna be a member?
No. Oh. In there.
Hello, May. I've got a bone to pick with you.
No. Ouch! Oh. Uh-huh.
what a pippin'. Oh, dear. Gulp.
No!
Wanna be a member?
Yes.
Go, Monster, go, go, go. Say it now, go, Monster, go. Go, Monster, go. Oh, ah, go, Monster, go.
Go to this theater to see the science fiction picture to end all science fiction pictures. Did he or didn't he? Is he a monster or isn't he? Only his space agency knows for sure, and they won't tell. When the capsule comes down without the astronaut, everyone is on the go, including who or what did come down. Monster a Go-Go. Here's the picture that grabs the screen and shakes it. The picture that makes you wonder if the Earth is coming to an end right in the theater in front of you. Never in your life have you seen such a combination of happy, sad, good, bad, rock'em sock'em action. When you walk out, you wonder what you've seen, because never has there been a motion picture like this. Monster a Go-Go, with a genuine 10-foot-tall monster to give you the whim-whams. Monster a Go-Go, with astronauts and space capsules and pretty girls, and cosmic radiation and pretty girls, and screams and pretty girls. There's something for everyone in the picture they're all talking about, the picture with Go. Monster a Go-Go.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friends, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
And Mr. Fresh Rogan.
What up, what up?
What up indeed? Welcome everyone. We are now live for season 6. So welcome boys. Welcome to all of you out there. Very excited to be back in the saddle for season 6. This is not only is this a new season, but this season comes with a theme. The theme for this season is the summer of Schlock. And just for all of you out there who may not know what the word schlock means, schlock is it's a word for something of poor quality, something that's considered cheap, little to no artistic merit, depending
it's
on
garbage.
Garbage is another word people might use. Yeah, I think that's an appropriate word for schlock. And so we have a whole season of some of the schlockiest public domain horror films we can find.
We've got a whole season of the hottest garbage you've ever seen.
Fresh hot garbage live here on the Scream Stream.
All summer,
every Friday. We're serving it up. And it's nice. It's a steaming pile of garbage. Every Friday. No, some of these films, you can't even say they're necessarily bad. Although tonight's film is certainly considered by some to be one of the worst films of all time. And of course, we are talking about Manos, The Hands of Fate, which is how we're going to kick off this season of Schlock, because this movie is it's achieved legendary status in the cult horror movie community once it kind of got introduced to the public at large, really reintroduced, I guess would be the word. Its reputation really just kind of ran away with itself. And this movie has really taken on a life of its own, but it is considered one of the worst of all time. And in that regard, it has taken on a mythic status. And there are a lot of myths associated with the film. So it's one of the things we'll talk about later tonight, because this movie it's so wild how it's an indie film. It's a regional film. So it's just got a crazy backstory. And of course, decades later, all these different stories get told. You don't know what's real and what's not. And so we'll dispel some myths later on. And I think even though this is considered the worst film of all time, I don't like to say necessarily that a film is bad here on the show. We've said that since season 1.
We're always trying to find positives.
We are, and
there's always something to like.
There, and even in something that's considered the worst film of all time, I mean, we all love The Room.
That's certainly a mythic movie.
Yeah, I mean, again, they've made a whole movie about the making of that.
You gotta love a film that comes with like an expanded universe. It's got
right.
Got some deep lore, some myths associated with it.
When the people behind the camera have these kind of legendary, like larger than life personas, it's just a breeding ground for that kind of cult object, which is what we're celebrating tonight and all season. I'd say most of the films that we're watching this season have attained cult status, but tonight's film is definitely a pinnacle of cult classic bad movie fandom. I mean, this is just a infamous or iconic, depending on whatever word you want to whatever word you'd like to use to describe it.
Two sides of the same coin, you decide.
But it is actually, it's got an interesting story. I mean, your classic horror movie setup: a family goes on vacation, they take a wrong turn, and they just happen to stumble upon a cult in the middle of nowhere. And so, I mean,
just happens.
How many horror movies, I mean, especially now, I mean, that, could describe any B horror movie from the 70s all the way to today. It's just kind of a popular setup. People go on vacation and they get into some shenanigans. And
it's everybody's worst fear. You almost get to go on vacation.
Right. Don't quite make it. You can't quite get there. yeah, that is the kind of the funny thing about this film, and that's why I think it's perfect for our summer of schlock, because it's vacation movie basically. Vacation is very much a part of the setup of the film. It's you know it looks like summer on film. I mean, they're filming in Texas, so it's obviously hot. I don't know. I don't think I actually got information on when exactly in the year that they filmed this, but this came out in 1966. So and you'll see, we'll talk about it later, and you'll see why this movie has gotten the reputation for being so bad. I mean, it's a lot of technical stuff, but it's also the acting, and there's just many things. But there's also merits. That's the thing. I do think that there's merits to this movie. So that's the one thing about different definitions of schlock that say, well, they don't really have artistic merit. They have a lot of cultural merit. I think this movie does have some artistic, but I haven't seen it. We'll get into all of it tonight. I'm very excited. It's a lot of
first watch.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Popping my cherry with Manos the Hands of Fate. Yeah, first, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm setting a pretty high bar for this. It's better really live up to the reputation. No.
Yeah, I have seen this one actually.
Yeah, Evan told me that before the show.
It's been a while, but I don't want to spoil it. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you, Evan.
I don't want to, paint anybody's expectations.
Thank you for not spoiling it for me. And Fresh, you haven't seen this before, have you?
Yeah, in middle school, I believe.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm the only one. So I'm the odd man. Wow, this is a hell of a way to start off season 6. I like it. We're turning the tables.
Yeah. Definitely
Fresh.
seen this. Yeah, my teacher showed it to me actually.
Right. Yeah. Was that your mystery science theater class?
Yep.
Well, it is. I'm very excited for this. And it has got some wild stories, and it is a public domain staple, and I'm very excited, and you'll see why it's very schlocky. And part of our summer of schlock, we're rebranding some things, and one of the things that we're rebranding is a little segment which we've always had, but which this season
it's our new old segment.
It's a new old segment, which this season, Evan, we're calling
Schlocktail Hour.
Schlocktail Hour. We need some kind of lounge jazzy, cute. Yeah. I love it.
So everybody just, pretend that it's Schlocktail Hour. Every week we do a different drink. This week's drink is, guys, I've been down a bit of a rabbit hole this week, actually. So in order to get to tonight's drink, first, we must travel back through time to 1860.
What?
So it's 1860. We're in northwestern Italy. There's a guy named Gasparo Campari who just has come out with a new fancy Italian liqueur, and wouldn't you know it, it still exists. They've been making this stuff ever since for, what is that, 140 years?
Yep, just about.
There's a reason this stuff is really good. Take a smell of that.
Ooh, it smells kind of like I don't know. It smells really good.
Yeah, it's an aperitif, as they say over there. You're supposed to drink it before dinner. Now, I've already had dinner.
Yeah, me too.
So nobody tell, please.
I won't tell if you won't.
Don't tell the Italians. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, all of our Italian viewers, we're sorry if we're about to offend you. It's all Evan. I take no responsibility.
This one's on me.
Do not let his choices reflect on the stream as a whole.
But Campari, the liqueur was very popular because it's so good. It's like citrusy and aromatic, but it's bitter, and so you kind of want something a little sweet to kind of bring it up a little bit. And so from the get go, they were mixing this with vermouth, which is like it's what you have in like a martini. You can it's a little sweet. So they're making this, and caught on like wildfire, a very popular drink, and among some foreigners, like the Americans came in, and we started asking for club soda and lemon twist with this, with that, and so that became what's known as the Americano.
Oh, okay.
So just like with a coffee, isn't there like an Americano coffee? It's just like watered down coffee. I don't know what it is. Americans, we have to drink our drinks watered down.
We're so weak.
We're weak. Sorry, guys. So we have the Americano. Fast forward to around 1919. As the story goes, there is an Italian man. He's of the Negroni family. He asks the bartender, "Can you make me an Americano, but can you give it a little more kick?" And so the bartender mixes them up. It's the Campari, sweet vermouth, gin, and an orange peel. And so that became like this guy's drink, and they started just calling it the Negroni. And you know who really liked those?
Who?
We know him, Orson Welles.
Really? That doesn't shock me.
Yeah. So I want to try to stump the buff here for a sec.
Okay.
Do you know what? So Orson Welles was in Rome shooting a film in 1947. Do you know what that might have been?
1947
in Rome.
Shoot. He wasn't doing. Oh God.
300.
It wasn't one of the. It wasn't the shake. What was it?
Black Magic.
Black Magic. Yeah, that's one. It may be public domain. Actually, I'm not sure.
Well, there we go. So we might be seeing that in the future. But Mr. Wells liked that drink, and you fast forward about another 10 years into the 30s. People started making them with, instead of gin, they'd put like bourbon or whiskey or something in that, and that's called the Boulevardier. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like that. Fast forward even further, there's a more modern cocktail, and this is the one that I actually found that I had planned on doing for this week because I was looking for hand-themed cocktails, and it's called the Left Hand. It's bourbon, Campari, the vermouth, chocolate bitters. So there's like a chocolate kind of twist to it.
Right.
And so my variation on this drink, so we're a bunch of layers deep now, but my variation on the Left Hand is what I'm calling the handful. So this is bourbon, Campari, creme de cacao, orange bitters, and a cherry garnish.
Ooh.
So if you notice, I don't know if this is probably sacrilege, but I'm skipping the vermouth and instead going with the creme de cacao because it's sweet. I think I'm hoping that'll make up the difference. But this is probably going to be kind of Campari forward, but I'm fine with that.
Sure, yeah, it smelled good.
So we're gonna give this a try.
Ooh, you got such
kind of a semi-original, I guess.
Yeah, I would call it an original. I would definitely call it an original.
So we got a Scream Stream original. This is the handful.
Ooh, it smells very strong.
Yeah, you drink this before dinner, remember.
Okay, well, I won't. It's our secret. Shh.
All right, everybody, cheers.
Cheers.
It's stiff. It's stiff. Remember,
that is very stiff.
Mr. Negroni wanted his drink stiff.
That's like drinking rubbing alcohol. Woo!
But there's a lot of flavor in that.
Yeah, there is. Oh my God.
And you're hit with it.
I was definitely hit. My goodness.
Get the chocolate, a little bit of the orange.
See, I don't know if I got the chocolate.
It's just a little bit.
Just a hint.
It's almost like it reminds me of, you ever eat like a chocolate Tootsie Pop?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could see. Yeah,
it's like that kind of chocolate.
Yep. I see that. I could definitely see that. Whew. I mean, it just smells strong. Yeah, I definitely needs more ice.
A little ice to taste.
Never has that been more true. Oh my god. Yeah. This definitely needed some more ice. I shook it around in my ice, like, you know, like, okay, I want a cold sip, and then it was still warm. So this is just a hot drink, which is right on theme for this season. Evan, your drink is completely on brand tonight. I mean, again, much like tonight's movie, it is got some striking notes in it that may really overpower some people. You know, you may feel strongly one way or the other. You may love it or you may hate it.
It feels like a fancy like an adult cocktail.
I would say this is by far the most adult cocktail that we've had on this show so far.
I should be drinking this in my like armchair by the fireplace.
Yes.
In my library.
Exactly. Well, I mean, again, I think it's a good drink for a hot summer night.
There we go. Yeah. Got the
you gotta
plush
have
robe on and the little like the hat.
Feeling the vibe. Yeah, you got a little
like what, the fez or something?
The fez and a nice red smoking jacket.
Oh, like cravat.
Right. A cravat. Yeah, that's right. Yep. And then you're set. You're all decked out and you're ready to go.
Right. So everybody at home, you just go ahead and, you know, change into that stuff. I know you have it lying around while you're enjoying your handful. Or maybe we call it Manos, the handful.
Manos the handful. Yeah, I think that's an appropriate name for it. Dude, it's very good. The ice is definitely helping. The ice is cutting it a little bit, which is good. I needed mine Americano style.
Yeah.
I needed it
extra Americano.
Extra Americano.
I like that Americana is. It's like Americano's watered down, and he's like, "Yeah, make it an Americana without the Americana."
Yeah, make this weak, make it strong again.
Stronger. Yeah, it is something. I do really like this cocktail, Evan, and you've done a hell of a lot of research on it tonight. So
this has been. This segment has never led me down a trail like this.
No, it doesn't. No, you had a whole you had given us a whole
little history lesson.
History. I love it. I'm here for it with each cocktail. But I mean, again, this one has a history. Sometimes we have cocktails that are just, just some simple things that have been thrown together and are good. But this is a real layered cocktail, and even I say it's an original because you obviously did your homework. So kudos to you, Evan. You did very, very well with Manos the handful. And again, red is an appropriate color for this movie as well.
Got blood in the water.
Blood in the water, blood, blood red hands. Get ready to see a lot of red hands tonight. That's kind of one of the motifs of tonight's film, one of the visual motifs. Because again, I haven't seen it, but if you know about Manos, you've seen the imagery. You've seen this person wearing this cloak that has two big red hands on it. You've seen this weird character. There's all this weird stuff in this movie, and that's why it's attained its cult status, because it's just a really weird movie. And it was all written, directed, and produced and starring one man, Harold P. Warren.
Does it all.
He does it all, aka Hal. This is his only movie. The only movie that he ever made was in any of the roles that he serves in this film. And and we'll get into kind of how he was struck with the idea to do this, but basically once he decided this was something he wanted to do, he was already in the theater community in El Paso, Texas. He was like an actor, he was involved, so he just got other people that were involved in the El Paso theater community to help him make this horror movie out in the desert, out in El Paso. And I mean, it's very much, again, a 60s theater community. That's how you get people like the actor playing Torgo, John Reynolds, who apparently, and you'll see once we are introduced to this character Torgo, apparently the actor John Reynolds was under the influence of LSD the entire shoot.
Wow.
And you'll see, and I say that now because I want you to kind of see his
just see if you can tell.
See if you can tell. It's a game. But there are myths associated with him, and we'll talk about the myths after when we get to our first break. But you just have a lot of characters involved with the film. So the guy playing Torgo is one. The guy playing the main villain in this movie, the character's name is the Master. That actor Tom Naiman did so much for this movie. He did a lot of the art designing, a lot of the like the family car in the movie is his car. The Master's dog is his dog. His wife designed the Master's robes. She stitched all the clothing for everybody. It was very much like a family affair. And his daughter plays the little girl in the family. So it's very much it was just this regional film that a kind of small, tight-knit group shot in 8 days. And, it just kind of, it didn't turn out quite how they expected. Obviously, they were amateurs, and so what they got was a very amateur product, which is kind of lost to obscurity until, as most people familiar with this movie will know, Mystery Science Theater showed it, and that's when it really was rediscovered, and since then has attained this status as one of the worst films ever made. And again, you'll see immediately why it's considered one of the worst films ever made. So, but it's a very interesting film, very interesting history. So we'll get all into it tonight. Very, very excited for this schlockster piece. Anything before we get into it tonight, boys?
Schlockster piece.
you know we're about to get into that schlockster piece.
Yeah, a little schlock piece.
Little schlockenspiel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my favorite orchestral instrument.
The schlockenspiel. Spiel. Yeah.
It sounds terrible.
It really does. It makes a really high-pitched whining sound. It's not a...
It cuts through the entire symphony. It's all you can hear.
Ding, 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 ding.
I love it. Sign me up. I'll buy one. Well, on that note, we're gonna go. Do you like what I did there? We're gonna go ahead. If Fresh has it queued up,
I do.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of Manos, the Hands of Fate, right now.
Oh wait, I didn't have it right now. I'm just kidding.
Okay, get out.
Oh, made you flinch.
Gotcha.
God, this movie is very loud.
Yeah, get ready for
I like this music.
a lot of jazzy music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna sample this.
We're chilling here in Texas.
Again, I haven't seen this before, but one thing I do know is that apparently a lot of the first part of the movie is just scenic driving scenes.
It's called Setting the Mood.
Apparently, there's supposed to be credits maybe over this, but they forgot to put them at the beginning.
Yes, that happens all the time. Yeah.
We're almost there, honey. Just a little while longer and your vacation starts.
I'm getting home, Mother. I'm hungry.
the director's dog.
We should be pretty close right now.
And that's the director. That's Hal Warren.
Highway 10, and that was Highway 10 back there.
But you know, we should have asked for better directions at the last gas station.
Listen, I've never got.
It sounded like the little girl was a grown woman.
So, yes, to both of your points. They did not shoot with sound, so it was all dubbed. All of the dialogue and the sound effects were dubbed in post. All the men dubbed their own voices, but they hired one Dallas-based voice actress to do all the female voices, including the little girls.
There, baby. Why don't we sing a song to help pass the time? Hmm? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
That's my favorite song.
Merrily, 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 like
Guys, really.
Merrily, merrily,
This is hard,
man.
Really, he's tone deaf, I think.
Down the stream. Merrily, merrily,
Come on, what are we doing? We got the loops on deck tonight. Song slaps. Yes, it does, I sing.
Ooh, you getting pulled over.
I forgot to
scenic it is.
I know, right? It's
well, the elevator jams really help.
Yeah, that's true. They really add to it. The beauty of El Paso,
I love
Texas.
hearing elevator music while I'm getting pulled over.
All right, mister. I see you have a taillight problem. No excuse. Running late, first vacation, kid getting tired. That's too bad. So, can't you give us a break, officer?
I think we've all been here, right?
Well, all right, all right. Sure do appreciate it. We are running kind of late. Okay, but if you're running late, you should have started earlier. Anyhow, no tail light. Have it fixed.
Sage advice from the
Thank
sheriff.
You, officer.
Yay, more scenic stuff. No, this
I'm always afraid. So good.
This was shot on some hand crank cameras that could only shoot like 30 seconds at a time, like at most. 16 millimeter film that the cameras had to be cranked, and you only get 30-ish seconds every time. Here we go. Finally got some lyrics.
Used all 30 seconds on that sign.
Yeah. I don't know what what this song was. It written specifically for Manos? I didn't get the facts on that. I'm sorry, I didn't.
This is an original.
And we're driving past the field, yeah.
On big, flat, open Texas.
And then we get pulled over.
I feel like this drink is just perfect for this.
Yeah. You're in tropical, beachy Texas.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, yeah, you. Yeah.
You gotta love 60s unknown rock and rollers. Just churning out bangers like this. Valley Loogie. Yep. Classic. Terrible handwriting.
Man, like there's nothing up that road.
So, like,
now, where were we?
Don't worry. Don't worry. If you want to know, that's not the last we'll see of them. If you're afraid, don't worry. There's an interesting story behind why they have that kissing couple. We'll talk about that later.
They were just making out when they were filming the movie.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if we're not gonna get this scene shot, we might as well just film them making out.
There was these kissing kids, and they refused to leave. So then we'll just have to put them in the movie.
We can't be wrong. Look, the sign pointed this way.
These power lines are really low.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're not expecting big 18-wheelers to drive through there. Although this was like a farm or a ranch that belonged to some El Paso attorney that was loosely connected with some of the people involved with the production. I mean, but again, you gotta appreciate this. Is what you don't get in Hollywood, these scenic locations.
Yeah, not a lot of desert in Hollywood.
No,
Oh, wait.
no.
This is the weird. All these jump cuts in this driving scene. It's
He's
so
driving like
bizarre.
into the. He's driving into the side of the road. He's not.
It feels like a dream sequence.
When you only have 30 seconds to get a take.
Oh, she. Holy cow, man. You'd think we're doing something wrong.
Well, whatever it is you're not doing, don't do it somewhere else.
Classic Texas folksisms.
Why don't you guys leave us alone?
Come on now, no wisecracks. Just
Dude,
go
these
on
short scenes or short shots
Get
make it feel like an
going.
FMV game.
It's gonna load the next clip.
Yeah. I'm out of here, man.
Oh dang, we gotta switch the CD.
See, I wish I had more info on the music. Because
I
the
could have
music's
sworn
really
we didn't make a wrong turn.
You must have.
Oh, there.
Where did you run?
No need to get upset. We'll find it.
Doo-doo-doo. Well, I'm sure there were two composers. I'm sure just like everybody else, this was their only movie. Ford. This is a Ford commercial, right? Like, it's gotta be. Hold on, we got some dust on the lens.
Where did this place come from? It wasn't here a few minutes ago.
I don't care. Let's see if we can get some directions. Look, there's someone at the door.
What do you mean it wasn't there a few minutes ago?
Just popped up out of nowhere.
Alright, I guess we'll just stop.
See, I told you if we kept driving around in circles, eventually we'd find it.
I told you if we kept driving by the same spot, a hotel would appear.
So this is Torgo. I'm tripping out, man.
Looks good, dude. What the fuck, man?
Nobody, play it cool, Torgo. Nobody can tell. Just act natural.
No one's gonna see this movie, man. You're good.
Music's going hard.
I am Torgo. I take care of the place while the master is away.
That's your cue to get back
But
in the
the
car.
child, I'm not sure the master would approve, or the dog. The master doesn't like children.
We only want to know where Valley Lodge is.
Which way do we go? There is no place like that around here.
It kind of looks like he's having a hard time
I'm feeling it.
sitting still.
I'm really feeling it.
Well, Torgo, which way is out of here?
Just up by over by that
There is no
that
way
cactus with the butterfly
It will be
head.
dark soon. There is no way out of here.
No way out.
Well, you know, we could spend the night here, and then tomorrow we could...
Mike, I don't want to spend the night here. I don't like the look
Yeah,
of the
good
place.
call.
Well, it seems we have no alternative. Well, how about it, Torgo? Can we spend the night here?
How about it, Torgo?
He looks very
Well, I don't know
comfortable.
what else we can do.
But Mike, I don't want to stay here.
And the master wouldn't approve.
Don't worry about it. We're here now, and I'm sure the master won't throw us out. Well, how about it, Torgo?
Don't worry about it.
Not to impose. No, you guys can't stay here. Well, I guess we just have to stay here for the night.
There's somebody standing in the doorway. Do you see that? Dramatic close-ups.
There's a Manos Hands of Fate video game.
I know. I was
Oh
gonna
my
talk about
God.
that. Yeah, bro. 8-bit style.
It looks really bad.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play it and live stream it. That'll be what I do on Twitch.
Torgo,
I'll just play
interrupt.
Manos.
Patient, dear.
What is up, guys? It's Spakenstein, speedrunning Manos Hands of Fate again.
Very well. The master will be very disturbed.
I have the world record because no one else is playing it.
I'll get the luggage.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Torgo, your leg, okay?
Nope.
Torgo, we'll stay tonight, and then tomorrow...
I love how it just
cuts out.
Hard, cut it,
Yeah.
cut it, hard, cut it.
I thought my fucking...
I thought my audio went up.
Man, this movie's really good.
It feels like a fever dream.
I think this is skinnier than 4-3. It looks square. This is 4-4. A lot of hands in there.
Yeah. A lot of hands.
So are the Hands of Fate going to be like the Super Smash Brothers hand? Floats above
That's
everybody?
right. That's right. Yep.
See, you're feeling better already.
They have to fight their way out of this house.
Yeah. You have to
Look at
fight the
this.
hand.
The hands. It's the hands of fate.
So the hands, the painting, all that was done by the guy who plays the master, who we'll meet later.
He did the painting?
Yep, he did the paint. He was an artist, like an actor, an artist. He just did all this stuff.
Did it all.
Apparently, he was already going through a hand phase in his art before this movie started, so he just had some stuff laying around.
I wish they let Torgo do the art.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he has a
so cool.
the steady hand for sculpturing.
For what?
What? Don't even try to be checking my syntax, Fresh.
You mean sculpting?
Sculpting. God damn it! All right, I'll see you guys on Monday.
Must be the master himself.
Oh, Mike, I'm scared. He has the meanest look. That dog.
I'd hate to run up on him in the dark, or even in the light, for that matter.
Oh, really, Mike?
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Gotcha. Nice one. Yeah, I wouldn't think that Debbie would be too comfortable in that ratty-looking couch, but that disease, it looks like it's a disease-ridden couch.
But he is with us always. No matter where we go, he is with us.
He sounds like an NPC.
No matter where he goes. What does that mean? That dog. It's the most vicious-looking animal I've ever seen.
Well, I hope he goes where the master goes.
There is nothing to fear, madam. The master likes you. Nothing will happen to you. He likes you.
Likes me? I thought you said he was dead.
Dead? No, madam, not dead the way you know
Yeah,
it.
yeah, Callie, yeah.
He is with us
I
always.
see that. Definitely a real Zappa vibe coming off that painting for sure.
I love that he's on acid, and apparently when he did the ADR, he was also on acid.
For continuity.
Yeah, he was ever not tripping acid.
That's just his baseline.
I'm like minimum 20 tabs a day.
That I show you to the bedroom now.
Dear God. What do you want me to do? Not do acid?
Oh my God. Mike, what?
You want a consistent performance, right?
Nothing to be afraid of.
Scared, Mike.
That was you did that one really well.
Michael, I don't care what
It just sounds like somebody.
Chase it away.
I'll see what it is.
Of course, again, they're in the recording studio doing all of this. It's not like we have any sync sound here. Uh-oh. Now that's actually pretty scary. Did you see that moth flying?
Yeah.
What happened? I heard.
Stay here. Get back into the house.
That was apparently something they had problem with, was the moths
Oh,
with the lights that
yeah,
they
I can
had.
imagine. Because what do you do if there's just moths around? Like, you have to shoot at night.
You shine a brighter light a little bit further away from set.
Oh,
And then they go to the bright one.
That's
There's
smart.
always
A decoy light.
My God, Mike, what happened?
He's dead. Peppy's been killed. Get back in the
Dog, he's dead. He's fucking dead. We gotta get out of here.
Mike, what kind
See, then the movie would be
of
over.
place is this? My God, what?
Yeah, just
But
get in
he
the car and leave.
still he wants to stay.
Everything. Honey, get back in the house.
Yes, console her by patting her with your gun.
There.
She's dead.
That is a disgusting
Fucking
couch.
I know,
It's
right?
gross.
This was, yeah. It's
Mike.
definitely
Oh my,
accumulated
what
its
could we
share of
done?
STDs. Oh my God!
Do you like my new couch? Can you believe it was free?
Honey, it was probably some animal.
I just found it on the
left this in
curb.
his
place must be full of them.
Peppy? You went away, baby. Went away while you were asleep.
Nice.
Mike, I want to
Way
leave
to
this
play that
place.
off.
Now.
Okay, honey, we'll leave right away. Where the hell is that caretaker? Cargo!
It's been so rude.
Cargo!
all the time.
Yeah, he's a real hero.
Terrible guest.
Hero
Terrible.
dose.
What's up?
Did you want me?
We're leaving. Would you mind putting the luggage back in the car?
As you
Bro, I don't even know what luggage is.
Right now.
It looks like he forgot they were shooting a movie and he thinks he works there. He's like, what do you need, man?
Well, apparently there was like a sense of method to their acting style and the sense of developing a backstory for their character and kind of being their character while they're on set. So, yeah, I mean, I think the acid certainly helped that approach. Car trouble, huh?
Yeah, just lightly tap that. I should fix it.
Yep,
That's what the flashlight's for.
That's an engine, all right.
Yeah, Kelly. We're spending the night. Oh, never mind. Get our shit and move it back onto the car. We changed our mind.
I'll be glad to leave. I've had all of this place I want.
Madam, it will be very dangerous to leave now. The master wants you.
Wants me? What kind of talk is that?
He wants you for his wife. He loves beautiful women.
Every time they show him, there's another button undone on his shirt.
Yeah, I mean, who can keep their shirt on when they're on acid? I mean, at some point it's gonna come off.
I wouldn't want him to ruin that perfectly fitted suit.
Torgo, leave us alone. Wait, come back. It's time for us to leave. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you didn't like that, or? Okay.
Sorry, you'd see.
Oh my bad, you're real, huh?
Message.
Don't you ever try that again, you beat!
The master wants you, but he can't have you. I want you.
Stop that talk this instant, you hear?
He wants you, but he can't have you.
Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I can't get this pesky spark plug in the right place. Pesky fuse.
Where in the world can he be?
Yeah, don't run away.
Oh, she's like 6 inches taller than him. She just pushed him over.
Let me out of here.
He seems really strong and coherent.
Do you hear now?
Forgive me, madam. I meant no harm.
So much lingering on the eyes.
Wait till I tell my husband.
I meant no harm, madam. I'll protect you.
We couldn't. The dubbing just doesn't look right. Just show her while he's talking. It'll be fine.
Very well. Won't tell my husband. Now let
He's
me
like
out.
tripping out on his sleeve. And that is going to take us to our first break. She does have nice eyes, S-Sync. I noticed that too. Again,
Yeah, pretty actress.
we're watching the restored version of this film, which is a far cry from any public domain version. We'll talk about that later. That is going to be what we're talking about at the next break. But that was the first third of Manos, The Hands of Fate. So what do we think so far? It's escalated quickly for the first third of the movie.
It really has. It's a lot of Torgo. He's just kind of stealing the show.
Yeah, I mean, Torgo really is something to watch. I mean, again, whether it's just thinking about the actor being on acid, it's not just that. It's watching his performance is just, whether you knew he was on acid or not, there's clearly something up with the performance. And yeah, Callie, you raised a good point. Why?
I know what makes it weird.
What makes it weird?
Because we're all trying to figure out how Mac Miller got a time machine and went back to play Torgo.
Well, they unfortunately they have a little more in common than we'd like. But we'll touch on that in a second. I mean, again, tragic life stories ultimately for the actor playing Torgo, but we'll talk about that because, again, like I said earlier, this movie has a lot of myths associated with it, right? Like when it comes to Torgo, one of the myths was that the actor playing Torgo, the rigging that he's wearing on his legs, the myth was that he designed the rigging, but he didn't wear them right, and it messed up his legs so bad that he was in so much pain, and that's why he ultimately committed suicide. He committed suicide a month before the film's premiere.
Oh my gosh.
Now that's true. That's not a myth. That actually, unfortunately, is sad. That's kind of the sad note about Torgo, which when you learn that, you kind of watch it with a little bit of a different, of a different lens, because it's very and he was only 25 years old.
Jeez. And
that's the thing. In this, like, what we're watching right now, he's only 25 years old. And so, but the whole stuff about the rigging on his legs causing him, none of that was true. um the actor who plays the master, who we still haven't met yet, who's designed like everything else, he was the one who made the rigging for the legs, and it was fine. They were worn how they were supposed to be worn. There was no pain associated with that.
No Torgos were harmed in the
No Torgos were harmed.
not during the making of this film.
No, certainly not. And yeah, I mean, again, if you're just on acid all the time, obviously, at a certain point, you're gonna experience a break. I mean, again, this movie, I can't remember if I said it earlier. It was shot in 8 days, so I mean, you have a couple weeks long bender. You're just tripping out. I mean, hopefully, eventually, he took a break. It's certainly not something that you want to be doing weeks on end.
Yeah,
But
they had to take a break before they did the ADR.
right. And again, so that's another myth about this movie, is that all the editing was done. The actor who played the master, Tom Neiman, said that the editing was done in 3 or 4 hours. That was all the time that they spent on it. So that's a myth. But the only other source that I read said that they spent 8 hours on it. So that's double the time, but it's still
that's not much.
Not much time for editing a feature film.
Is that possible? That doesn't sound. It doesn't sound
It doesn't. It doesn't sound plausible.
It doesn't not sound impossible.
It's definitely a feat, to be sure. It is an amazing feat.
I thought it was hands.
You got me.
They
You
never
got
did the
me.
sequel.
That was very good. Very good, Fresh. Yeah, that's the feat of fate.
The feat of hate.
Oh, I would see that. So yeah, I mean, it just, it was all very slapdash, obviously, from the post production, but even the conception of this movie. So that's like the biggest myth with the making of this movie, and I couldn't find anything to confirm whether this was true or not. But basically, the whole reason that Hal Warren was inspired to make this film, there was a TV show that shot on location in El Paso called Route 66, and it was a television show that they would shoot each episode on location in a different location, like traveling around, which is kind of rare for the time to not be in a studio. And so while that production was there, the creator of the show, Sterling Silliphant, who was like a screenwriter, he was there, and somehow Hal Warren got a walk-on role on the show, and struck up a friendship with Silliphant. And so they were hanging out at either a coffee shop or a bar. I couldn't find which one, to be exact. But they were hanging out, and Hal Warren basically said something to the effect of, well, I don't think it'd be very hard to make a horror movie. And so he made a bet with Silliphant that he could make a horror film all by himself. So that was how this whole movie got started.
Was made on a bet.
It was made on a bet with this
bar bet.
It was made on a bar bet with a big. Silliphant was a big Hollywood screenwriter who he created that show Route 66, which was fairly popular. It ran for a few seasons. He wrote like big Hollywood movies, and indirectly he's kind of responsible for one of the worst films of all time. Yes, you better.
He won
better
the
pick
bet, though, right?
So yeah, ultimately Hal Warren did win the bet, but I could never find what they bet. Like it was never clear what
the next round.
Maybe it was just the next round. I'm
They
not
met
sure.
After the movie was made, he was like, "All right, next round's on me, I guess."
I'm really not sure what it was, but I mean, basically from this bet, Hal Warren was able to raise $19,000, which in today's money is like $170,000.
That's a lot of money.
And he didn't pay anybody. He just said, "You'll get a percentage of the profits." Of course, we'll talk about it after the break. But obviously, this movie didn't make any money.
Isn't that just the producer's scheme?
Essentially, you just kind of sell shares until you have enough money to run away with, and you spend very little money on the production. But I mean, I think every penny went into the production, and I mean, again, like certainly Hal Warren utilized every connection that he had in the theater community and with talent agencies and all this stuff to get this movie made. The actress playing the mother, Margaret, her name was Diane Marie, and she's only like 19 or 20 when she was in this, but she ended up becoming a famous model after this movie. But Hal Warren, his plan to promote the movie was enter her in beauty pageants, have her like win Miss Texas, and then compete for Miss America, and then she'll promote Manos while she's on the pageant circuit. And obviously that didn't go very far, but she went on to have a successful modeling career. But so he was able to get like, you know, someone like that, which again, like Essing said, beautiful eyes. Obviously, of course, she went on to be a model.
When she was in the talent, or when she was in the beauty pageant, do you think they had a talent segment, where she was just holding up a sign for the movie?
Well, you know, she would just move her lips, and they had the voice actress who did the dubbing come in, and you know, they did some kind of like weird reverse ventriloquism act. It didn't go over too well. But yeah, I mean, again, he kind of leveraged all his connections and got this movie made. And I wish I knew what the bet was, because Silifant, after this was over, 2 years after this film was made, he ended up winning an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for a movie called In the Heat of the Night, which again, there was a famous television show made later on based on the movie, but it was a big hit. And Silifant won an Oscar for that. He went on to write a bunch of disaster movies in the 70s and 80s, like The Towering Inferno. So the trailers that we're going to see, and again, so the myth with that, I don't know if that was true or not. It's the story that you always see with the inception of this movie, but I did find some other things saying, well, they say this is how it got started, but there's no like real evidence. It's just kind of the story that's told with the movie. But so for the break, we're going to show two Sterling Silifant horror movie trailers. The first we haven't seen is for a movie that he wrote the script for called Village of the Damned, which is, it was remade in the 90s by John Carpenter, but it's weird. It's a British movie, but Silifant's an American, and he wrote it when it was supposed to be an American production, but then it got switched over to England, but he's the screenwriter of that. So that's the first trailer we're going to see. And the second trailer we've seen before. It's for one of the disaster movies that he wrote called The Swarm, about a swarm of killer bees attacking the United States, starring Michael Caine and a host of others. And it's a very cheesy trailer, very cheesy movie. But he wrote that as well. And that, funny enough, see, I've been fucking up with my words tonight. Funnily, sculptor, what's going on? Having a stroke. Funny enough, The Swarm is considered one of the worst films of all time as well. Even though that's a big studio blockbuster movie, it's considered pretty horrible. And you'll even see in the trailer why it's horrible. So we're gonna get these.
So the Manos folks shouldn't feel too bad.
No, they really shouldn't. Again, you know, Silifant, he just couldn't. You know, it's all his fault. That's why the movie turned out so bad. This guy obviously just turns everything he touches into shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I think the silliest font is Wingdings.
Yeah, touche.
Just my 2 cents. Yeah, throwing that out there.
It certainly is. Well, on that note, we're going to see these two trailers. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of Manos, The Hands of Fate. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Science fiction has never imagined so strange or terrifying a story as that of the village of Midwich, England, cut off from life as we know it by some mysterious force. And later, at one and the same time, a child was born to every woman in the village. Children that grew to look like this. Beautiful youngsters behind whose fiery, hypnotic eyes lurked the demon forces of another world.
They're not human. They ought to be destroyed.
Forces put to such sinister use that it became a national emergency.
We are gathered here as advisors, as scientists, as government experts.
Have we established anything about the origins of these children?
There is the possibility of the transmission of energy.
Let me get this straight. You imply that these children may be the result of impulses directed towards us from somewhere in the universe?
What we need is time to investigate. Are you aware of life on another planet? Why are you so nervous when an aircraft flies above you?
Until recently, we haven't been able to make our control reach as far as a high aircraft.
Well, now you have, is that it?
Today, their control reaches out into space. Tomorrow, will it girdle the globe?
There's nothing you can do to stop us. Leave us alone.
For more than 20 years, scientists have known that a swarm of killer bees has been headed towards the United States. Now, Warner Brothers presents Irwin Allen's The Swarm.
We have visual contact.
Identify.
A black mass, sir. A moving black mass.
We have been invaded by an enemy far more lethal than any human force.
Starring Michael Caine, Catherine Ross, Richard Widmark, Richard Chamberlain, Olivia de Havilland, Ben Johnson, Lee Grant, Jose Ferrer, Patty Duke Aston, Slim Pickens, Bradford Dillman, Fred McMurray, and Henry Fonda.
Get inside! Quickly, get inside!
A story of courage and sacrifice.
Newman! Go for it, go! Come out!
Not since the 30s, when families by the thousands fled the Oklahoma Dust Bowl, has a thriving American community had to be totally evacuated. Until today.
Its size is immeasurable. Its power is limitless. Its enemy is man.
The war that I've always talked about has finally started.
Mile by mile, city by city, it moves, leaving in its wake a path of destruction.
For God's sake, Crane, when are we going to stop this massacre?
Irwin Allen's The Swarm. It is more than speculation. It is a prediction. The Swarm is coming.
And we are back. So that was the trailer for Village of the Damned and The Swarm, which again, you can see why this movie is just so cheesy. I have seen The Swarm before, and it's, those big disaster movies were like really popular. And
Do the bees win?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I haven't seen it since high school. I think they do. I believe they do. It is a pretty absurd premise for a disaster movie. What are you gonna do about all these killer bees?
Just, I mean, you've got a whole continent of killer bees. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe the trailer before that, a village full of killer children. Maybe that's not so plausible either. But that's Sterling Silliphant for you. So that's one of the interesting kind of weird myths about this movie is that this Oscar winning screenwriter is the one that inspired it. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Callie. It basically is just like a much more large scale version of The Birds that's not like, I mean, The Birds is like still terrifying today.
Yeah, what's worse, a swarm of bees or a swarm of birds?
Let me tell you something. One of my brothers experienced an actual scene out of The Birds the other day. We were all in the car when it happened. We're just riding along, and all of a sudden I just hear this thunk, and it sounded like the glove box got like closed really hard or opened really hard, you know? But then I looked and I was in the back seat. I looked up, I see the glove box is nobody's touched it. But my brother in the front seat's like, huh, huh. And I look over, I realized something had hit the window. Apparently a bird had just flown into the window,
jeez.
right? Like right out of that like scene with Tippi Hedren in the phone booth, right? And immediately my thought was the birds. And yeah, well, a disaster movie is also on the list of, well, Wikipedia's list of the worst films of all time. I think a lot of those parody movies from the late 2000s are on the worst of lists, rightfully so. And so, but yeah, just long story short, I'm a proponent that birds are trying to take over and kill us all. Their numbers are growing and they're going insane. I've already harped on this in past episodes, so I
They're
won't
in
spend
league
time
with
on
the
it.
bees.
They're in a league with, well, don't get me started. I had to take care of some wasps today. And
moving into the neighborhood, making it all bougie. I get it.
I mean, so
raising the property value.
So a killer bee is
starting an HOA.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. You gotta keep them in line somehow. I mean, what are you gonna do? No. Yeah, I mean, it's nature is out to get us, obviously, and something is out to get our characters in tonight's film. We're a third of the way through Manos, The Hands of Fate.
He has a name.
Yeah, so he has a name. Something got the dog. We're not sure. We are not sure.
It was Torgo, right? Torgo ate the dog.
You think Torgo ate? You think Torgo's into dog meat?
He was hungry.
Yeah, I mean, if he hadn't seen people for years, probably. And you know, the master isn't feeding him well. We haven't even met the master yet. I mean, this movie just it gets absolutely bonkers in this middle part because
I mean it's already
bonkers.
It already feels like a fever dream. I don't know.
Again, having not seen it, I didn't expect us to like it already be nighttime and they're already trying to leave and they're already having car trouble and they're already trapped. Again, if you've seen past episodes, you know it takes times. I wish I could do Night of the Lepus. Unfortunately, that is not public domain. And Night of the Lepus is a movie about giant killer bunny rabbits that are breeding like rabbits do, but they're giant and so they're killing everything and people. But that's a cheesy 70s horror disaster movie.
So what's worse, a swarm of bees or a swarm of bunny rabbits?
I think bunny rabbits would be pretty bad, shaking the ground all the time. Giant rabbits?
Giant rabbits.
Giant rabbits. That's the caveat.
How giant are we talking about here?
At least the size of a school bus.
Okay.
Giant rabbits.
I thought we were talking like Attack of the Killer Shrews, dog sized.
No. Like when I say giant rabbit, I mean not Godzilla.
You don't mean giant for a rabbit. You mean giant for a giant.
Exactly. Bigger than a horse, definitely.
Bigger than a bread box.
Bigger than a bread. Yeah. Don't even get me started on it. But I mean, you know, this is that movie also has a reputation for being pretty bad. But you know, maybe one day. Let's see how many years till that's public domain. That was made in the 70s. We'll still be doing the show then. I'm pretty sure we'll still be around.
We need just like a big like countdown, like a big bulletin board, just a bunch of countdowns all going simultaneously.
I need to at least have a countdown for Frankenstein. You know,
there
1931's Frank. I mean, if
there's one you can put on the wall.
I'm very excited for that to enter public domain, and it's 3 years away.
Not long.
Not long.
Not long.
I have enough movies lined up for this show to take me that long. And when the good horror movies start entering the public domain, we'll be here to cover them. As long as the copyright isn't, they don't weasel some way to extend the copyright. Goodness knows, you know. I mean, Disney what is it? Steamboat Willie is going to enter public domain yet next year, but I think the first incarnation of Mickey Mouse entered public domain this year.
Steamboat Willie is not public domain.
No, one more year. Steamboat Willie came out in 28, and anything.
You're fucking god.
Only stuff in up to 1927 is public domain right now, and then next year everything in 28. Year after that 29. Every year the new year, unless Congress passes some kind of new copyright law.
Wait, so if something was made in 1930, when would it be public domain?
Math homework for you.
1, 2, 3 years from now. So 4 years on Frankenstein, unfortunately.
So what if it was made in 1931? When would it be public domain?
That's what that Frankenstein was, 1931. 4 years. 4 years.
So what if it was made in 1932? Like what would
I'm not.
Would it be public domain?
We're not. You're not getting me stuck in this bit, Fresh. We have to get to the middle part of the movie. We just have to.
Just answer the question.
No, I refuse.
Come on, I just want to know.
I can't do math, okay?
It's what the audience wants to know.
I suck at math.
Fresh is saying what everyone is thinking.
God, you've exposed me, Fresh. I'm a fraud, damn it. No, thank God this isn't the math stream. No, we have to get into the exciting middle of Manos, the Hands of Fate. Anything before we get into it, boys?
Just thinking of, do you think math streams exist?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like Khan Academy live streams probably exist,
sure.
right?
There you go.
Yeah, but nobody's like live, like marathon streaming, doing
math.
like a series of math. Like, what's the object of that?
I'm gonna
What
live
do you?
stream doing
What's the goal?
My
Like,
math textbook problems. My math
Speedrunning my times tables.
oh my god, sounds like the worst thing
So
ever.
support your local mathematician.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, if Fresh has it queued up,
I do.
We're gonna go ahead and get into the exciting middle of Manos, the Hands of Fate, right now.
Hey, Maggie, the damn car won't start.
It's like I'm like, wait, did the sound cut out? It's like,
Yeah, it's like
no, there's
no sound effect.
There's no sound design.
Well, that
just the
really
the
fixes
voices.
things. What are we
They
going to do
didn't get
now?
any.
I don't know, and I couldn't
Didn't
find
get
anything
any
wrong with it
room
either.
tone.
Hey, Torgo, where's the
They told
phone?
the sound guy to get room tone. He's like, "What's that?"
Yes, Alexander Graham Bell, telephone.
No, there's no bells in here.
There is none, sir. The master doesn't approve of such devices.
Master doesn't approve of room
Then where
tone.
is the nearest phone?
The nearest phone is at the crossroads. That's 10 miles.
10 miles? Might as well be 10,000 miles.
Easy, honey. It won't help to get mad.
The master won't mind you staying
Wait, what?
tonight.
Yeah, what?
The damn car won't start.
Did he just teleport across the room?
Hell yeah! This movie's awesome.
No, yeah, they don't give a shit about continuity or nothing.
Honey, we'll leave in
You
the
just
morning.
break all the
Soon
rules,
this
don't
place
you?
will be forgotten.
Forgotten?
Yep.
Is there anything the master does approve? No.
Nope.
I just hope Debbie will understand.
She'll understand. She's my baby. She'll understand.
No, Callie, nothing.
Darling, I sure hope so.
She's my baby. She'll understand.
Walks right out the back door.
Hey, where is she?
Oh my God! Michael!
Don't get wrought up. She's
Oh my god.
Okay, Debbie, we see you. Come out, wherever you are.
Maybe she slipped into one of the rooms.
There's a little thing in film that we like to call pacing.
Debbie!
What's that?
It's going from Michael to
Oh, no, you seen Debbie?
To nothing.
Don, help us find her.
She couldn't have gone outside. The door's bolted.
For God's sake.
Love how they're always filming from like straight on the side. It's like profile, like so flat.
In the kitchen.
That's real natural, Torgo. You got it. You nailed it.
Dude, Torgo is such a vibe.
Torgo is a vibe.
Got to be
He's having a fun time.
All right, we'll look outside for her.
So even the clothes that Torgo's wearing were provided by the guy who plays the master, who we're about to meet soon. Look, there's malls all over the side of that building.
The animals and
I like the coveralls with the suit jacket.
It's a good combo.
the like hat with a hole in it.
He's got the Charlie Kelly look going on. He perfected that first.
We'll find her. Don't worry.
That's like you'll notice Torgo's clothes look so big on him because like Tom Neiman is like over 6 foot and then he's like 5'8", 5'7".
Debbie.
No, that jacket fits well.
Well,
He's got that big jacket look.
Yeah, he's going with the David Byrne look. Big fan of the Talking Heads. I've got to shoot Debbie.
I got a new pet.
Stand back.
Easy come, easy go.
So that was her dog, the little girl. Like that was their family dog. So she obviously wasn't scared of it, but that's a scary looking dog.
Yeah. You need an evil looking dog.
But you should never run away from us. Debbie, don't ever run away from us.
No, I found my puppy.
Where did you find the new dog, baby?
In a big place.
In a big place? Where, Debbie?
There was a big giant.
Yeah, that's how the Michael character just comes across. I know what's right. I wrote the script. I know.
Where is the place, Debbie?
Over here, Daddy.
Like most of the time, writers try to give the audience perspective, but he's giving the director's perspective.
Oh, okay.
Here's the master.
Found him.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a cool outfit.
Got a whole thing going on here.
Horrible. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
Good idea.
I looked away. Did it show how they got here?
No, they
just-
literally were just outside, and there it was.
Well, they went through that door. It's just in the next room. No, they just teleported there like everybody's been.
Let's split up.
Just got to step over into the next dimension, and it's right there.
So these are like apparently the ruins of some like courthouse or something that was like
I want her.
nearby.
She's mine.
Ancient
You hear?
Texan ruins.
You have all the wives you need. She's mine.
You have all the wives you need. Push that rock on his head.
And the score is crazy.
Oh, you pretty ones.
Get the fuck out of that symbol.
I won't need you anymore. I have my own life. I won't have to come in here to dream of having one of you.
I will say it's refreshing to see night shot at night. I do like the way it looks.
Yeah, very
They're
dark.
not doing day for night.
Especially, have we talked about the quality of this? Because when I saw this, forever ago, it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Not a good quality copy.
This is what usually happens with public domain movies. It's a transfer of a transfer of a transfer, and this was no different. We're watching the restoration, obviously, and so when we get to the break, we'll touch on the restoration's got an interesting history. So
I bet it's not even that interesting.
oh, it involves Facebook drama. Okay, it's very interesting.
Okay, now I'm in.
Yes,
I knew you would be.
That's how you hook them. Stick around. We'll spill the tea.
Do you hear me?
And they just couldn't find him after that. He got lost for like 2 hours in the desert. He just walked off and he didn't come back. And has anybody seen John?
Man, you couldn't even fit anything in that suitcase.
Wow, you'd be surprised.
You're going on vacation. How many clothes do you need?
Torgo. Uh-oh. What do you think?
Finger on that yikes button.
It is. Do you think it is? Is Torgo being a...
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can yikes Torgo
there.
there. Yeah, I think so, certainly. All Torgo. Yeah,
Torgo.
press your nose
I
up
think
against the wall.
Torgo is spying on her, but I don't think the actor knows what's going on.
No, that face did not read like a man who knows what's going on.
He's just looking around outside the window.
Okay. That was sudden.
Oh. Okay,
Got him.
Ezio.
You got him.
Got him.
Stealth kill.
Yeah, and the other quality version of this, I can't imagine that you see any of this. That you have any clue what's going on. You just see a white blob moving along the screen. I mean, again, like they're actually shooting at night. They're not trying to do day for night, and they have very little lighting. So this is what you get. A dark, murky image.
There's something about this. It's so bizarre and all this jazz. It's reminding me of Twin Peaks a little.
There's a surreal quality.
There's that kind of and the
right?
way it's cut, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not adhering to the form as we're used to. The traditional, classic editing.
They're breaking a lot of rules.
So many rules, and it's
the end result. It's
bizarre.
It's really something to behold.
It's bizarre.
I mean, was this all just like from this angle? Like, I mean, we've just kind of been here for a minute.
I like how every shot is 10 seconds except for this shot.
Yeah, this one is going on for like the longest shot in the movie.
He really tied him to that tree. He just left him. So, Torgo, where are you going?
Yeah, there's like very little. There's not a soundscape, you know.
No,
Look at that.
it's
The moon
just
never changes. The moon looks exactly the same. I love that. We all change and the moon stays the same age.
All right.
Wow, you guys really believe in the moon?
That's just in movies.
Hey, believe what you want.
The moon is flat.
Yeah, the flat moon.
Oh, Master's up.
Oh, look, and here we're back to the kids.
They're still at it. It's been hours. It's nighttime.
Okay, so get this. So the master's wives were they were all contracted through a modeling school. The woman in the car right here was supposed to play one of the master's wives, broke her leg. Hal Warren said, well, we want to keep her involved. So he created these scenes with the couple making out.
So is this just filler to keep this lady on the payroll?
And the guy was also their stuntman, and they wanted to give him more to do.
Well,
so they just came up with this.
Good.
He's like, hi, dude.
But yeah, all the wives were contracted through a modeling agency called Mannequin Manor, or a modeling school called
Mannequin Manor of Manos.
Mannequin Man. Yeah, it was a cult.
How many times do you have to be told?
Like, wow.
Have a heart, will you?
I don't
chase that other couple.
All right, honest question.
What other couple?
Is it illegal to make out?
Back in that day, it was definitely like, you're loitering, we gotta run you off. Protect the Tigers. This is Manos, The Hands of Fate, which is considered one of the worst movies of all time, and we're having a ball with it. It is absurd and surreal. I think that's the best way to sum it up.
I would agree. Get out of here. Just go home and bang already. What are y'all doing?
You're wasting time. Do you know how many roadside motels there are on this stretch of highway?
Oh, you think the sheriff's in with the big motel?
I definitely think so.
Yeah, he gets a cut every time someone checks in.
It's very cheesy.
Extremely cheesy.
It ain't easy.
Yeah. So that's his dog. So, you know, obviously the dog is very comfortable with him. And according to his daughter, the dog was kind of dopey. Like, she said it's funny watching him playing this evil dog.
Darkness, thou who dwelleth in the depth of the universe in the black chasms of night.
Just looks like an early 2000s emo kid.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the whole vibe for sure. Yep. Gotta keep him on a leash. You know, he's got the poop bags and some big pockets in that robe.
Did this guy invent the Snuggie?
I mean,
wait a minute.
It looks pretty damn comfortable, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. I kind of want one of these.
And the big hands. Look at that. Maybe I just want a cape. I've always, that's what it is. I just want to.
Manos will be done. Thy priesthood remains steadfast, thy priesthood remains constant, thy priesthood remains righteous. Thou hast taught us,
Yes,
O Manos,
respect, respect, protect the tigers. We're all movie people here.
I hate movies.
Well, some people here are also video game people. You know, it's.
Arise, my wives.
I suck at video games. Otherwise, I. You know.
So you guys said that there was a video game of this? Like, would you mean a fan game or something?
No,
Yeah.
It's a real licensed game.
It was an official release.
Yeah, it's on Steam. Yeah, it looks really bad. It has nothing to do with the movie. It doesn't look like it's just a platform game.
He looks like he's really feeling that scene, like being there, like depressed while his wives are bickering with each other. Like every damn night.
Child been brought here. Why?
Trouble
And
in
a female
Paradise.
child at that.
So remember that all the female voices are dubbed by one woman.
That's so stupid.
Well, they could only afford one voice actress.
But they let all the men dub their own voices.
But the women can't do that for some reason.
They gotta stay home and cook the dinner and
This might be a yikes comment, but it would be cheaper to let the women do it, right?
I mean,
They're not paying them as much.
nobody was getting paid. The only person that technically got paid was the little girl playing Debbie, who got a brand new bike, and the dog
Really?
and the dog got a 50-pound bag of dog food.
Great.
They were the only
Wait,
two that
nobody
got. They were the only two
nobody
that got
got paid?
compensated. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everybody else got points on the back end, right?
That exactly. Exactly.
Stock.
They got stock options.
This movie's gonna be big.
And now, my wives, I shall deal with the one who is responsible for the child being here.
Torgo. He's the one. Get Torgo.
You are responsible for this nonsense. We shall dispose of you later.
What? What? It's your fault, wife number 2.
It's his way of saying I want a divorce.
The man, yes. The child, no.
Maybe she's right. Maybe we should spare the child.
It's against our will that we stay here.
They're all
He
yelling,
wants
and
the
then we are
child
only
die
hearing
to
like 2
satisfy
voices.
him. He does not need
I
any
can
more
only do one
wives.
voice at a time.
It's only one
He
voice
has no
actress.
more time for an older wife. Just the newest. Huh.
I feel like even if they had sound on set, it would just be a jumble the way they look like they're all
Why are
yelling.
you so jealous of me? You are a troublemaker.
Bro, she's
You
got a
deserve
foot
to
on you.
die.
Don't be picking fights. Oh!
Die. I may die, but I do not care. The child must live.
She is right.
We will not kill the child.
But Manos would
It's
not
kind of
approve.
creepy having the same woman do all the voices.
The law of Manos.
It
is
is an
different.
uncanny.
It adds to that surreal vibe.
She will grow up to be a
100%.
woman. She must die.
We all want the robe protect
Yeah.
the tigers. It's got to be an Etsy thing, like a real good-looking one. So the robe and the wives' dresses were all designed by the master's, the actor playing the master's wife.
Wow.
And you see how they've all got red on their under their dresses? That wasn't an original part of the costume. The people from the modeling school said the costumes were too revealing and that they needed more cover.
Oh.
So that's why they have the red fabric in the front and the back. I mean, because
I love that
otherwise,
it's just a free flowing piece of fabric, though. It's not.
it's just, I mean, you still see, like, you know, they're wearing a bra and panties, but, you know. And apparently in the back it was supposed to be like a tail, but, like, the modeling school also said, no. Fabric, but no tail.
The modeling school's anti-furry, I think, is what we're getting out of this.
Oh my god.
The fucking score, dude.
It's going
this is
ham, dude.
intense.
You gotta love jazz, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, sure.
Some kind of moves to the beat of jazz.
Torgo, you taking a quick 5? You finally all tripped out?
Torgo, are you okay?
Is that the dog bed or is that his bed?
He's doing fine.
Oh shit! He is poking him with Torgo's own stick. Torgo, you want me to give you a hand?
Hand me some change.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably pretty hard to get up with those. That contraption on your legs. Yep, tilt up. There you go. Very good.
The legs, man.
I love it, dude. It's so good.
So that was the other myth that he's supposed to be like a satyr.
What
But
are you doing
that
here?
apparently was an idea that wasn't really.
You have failed us, Torgo.
They talked about it, but it was never
I know of your
solidified.
visits to the tomb.
My visits?
The women have told me. They may not be able to say anything or move when you're there. But they remember everything you say to them. And everything you do to them.
But Master, you have 6 wives. Why can't I have one for myself?
You are not one of us. Therefore, you cannot have one of them.
But I have one now. This one is mine. You'll never get her.
You have failed us, Torgo. For this, you must die.
Fail you? No. You have failed yourself.
Yeah, and Torgo, you know, Torgo.
You'll never kill them. I'll help them.
Quick nap.
You have failed.
He's gonna get right
and
back
you
to
must
work.
Die.
Whatever he does around there.
He supposedly is the caretaker, but I'm not.
When the master's away. Oh man, oh yeah, it's you're getting too close, man. That's a
No, don't get too close, bro. Stop.
That's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, it's not
I
bad,
like
it's
that.
not bad.
I like that.
That's not great.
Well, you know, it's probably kind of hard to catch focus on Torgo.
Yeah, moving target.
Yeah. good. I like that.
Handling some Lugosi.
For sure. Mm.
Manos, God of primal darkness, as thou hast decreed, so have I done. The hands of fate have doomed this man.
I love the
will
robe.
is done.
And that is going to take us to our second break. So what do we think so far, boys?
He looks like a butterfly when he
He
spreads
does.
his arms
His beautiful
like that.
wings, the patterns. I do love that. I love.
It's good. It's really good.
It is good.
It's so crazy.
The imagery of the red hands, it is
Hands
very
of fate.
And they're.
You can't really tell that it's hands.
I mean,
if I didn't know it was hands,
what are you
I
talking
might
about?
not
It looks
see
like
that
the
it's
two
hands.
hands emoji. It looks like that emoji.
Yeah,
the two
it
hands
does.
on 'em.
It does. When they zoom all the way out, you can see the bottom.
Oh, but when it's down, yeah. I mean, it's just
Like stripes.
He's just.
Oh. Yeah, when it's up close, it just looks like he has weird stripes.
Well, he was experimenting with that striped cape look, and it didn't, And he was like, "Oh, I'll
He was
just make it
earning his
hands."
stripes.
Oh, yeah.
That's you down here and I'll just make it hands. I didn't know how to do stripes.
It didn't look good, but I'll just pivot. I'll pivot. He did a good job.
So did he kill Torgo? Is that what that was meant to? Does the master actually have powers, or is he just like a crazy guy out in El Paso?
Just a crazy cult. See, I'm not sure.
Have we established?
This takes place in Waco, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, he said, the master has had all these exclamations and all that, but he hasn't really done anything, right? The big speech that we saw him giving around the fire, apparently the actor playing the master came up with all that dialogue because it wasn't he was just supposed to stand there and just kind of like act like he was doing some ritualistic stuff, and then the actor Tom Neiman wrote that whole thing, and so he's trying to give it some kind of authenticity.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see, Callie, right. Exactly. Yeah, he wrote the speech, and yeah, Hal Warren was apparently yelling at everybody and being very authoritarian and just kind of, I don't know. I mean, obviously the other people involved weren't necessarily helping things. Apparently some of the cast and crew was like going behind his back and calling it mangoes, the cans of fruit, because it does like this movie's terrible. But they knew some people knew while they were doing it. Oh, this is
sick burn.
But I mean, the movie did apparently go through like it was originally like created under the title Sins, the Lodge of what is it? Sins, the Lodge of Sin. Oh no, the Lodge of Sins, and then the Fingers of Fate. And then apparently Tom Neiman was the one who suggested the title Manos, the Hands of Fate, which apparently in Spanish, Manos means hands. So the title is Hands, the Hands of Fate. That's another great little tidbit about this movie and just how it makes absolutely no sense and just the surrealness of it.
Do you think the Fingers of Fate would have been better?
I like that.
Fingers of Fate.
Yeah,
it's a little creepy. This is a creepy movie.
It is.
The alliteration is good.
It's unsettling. That was one of the things that again we'll after the break we'll talk a little more about like the whole Mystery Science Theater angle, but that was kind of their take on the public domain version, which looked a lot worse than this. Was that this like it had a creepy vibe of like it's like the last images that somebody took on like a camera before they before they died,
like some
right?
Found footage kind of.
It's a kind of a creepy, scary thing. The phalanges of fate, fresh. I like that. That's good.
This is a cursed like VHS tape you find in the basement.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was certainly how like the Mystery Science Theater people felt when they like stumbled upon it and kind of helped raise the profile. But basically, like after this got made, edited, they had a big premiere in El Paso. Hal Warren invited the mayor and the aldermen and the press, and he rented a spotlight from the car dealership, and he had
Did he get the guy that's doing like that at the car dealership?
spinning a sign or doing or the wavy hand
waving
guy?
guy.
He should have. That probably would have brought in more. Apparently it was a well attended like screening, and he rented a limo that it was just one limo, so it had to like drive around in circles to like get all the cast and crew like there. It'd take like a few people at a time. So they kind of had this really glitzy premiere, which it was also apparently a cerebral palsy benefit for their local cerebral palsy like fund. So I don't know. I guess Hal
Okay.
Warren, that was another angle Hal Warren was trying to go. Well, I mean, everybody's very excited, and then they get there, and the movie starts,
Oh no.
and people start laughing, and then people start making jokes, and then they start like criticizing things, and like, of course, the little girl Debbie, the actress who played her, Jackie Neiman, she said when she watched it and realized that the voice coming out of her mouth was not her own voice, she just started crying.
Oh no.
She just started crying 'cause she's like,
They
what?
cut all of my
What?
lines.
Yeah, she's devastated. And I mean, it just in the screening just turned as the movie was showing, and so like apparently some of the cast and crew were like sneaking out of the theater, and like some people went to a bar like trying to get away, and apparently Tom Neiman, the guy who played the master, and his daughter Debbie and his wife, they just sat there and waited until everybody left because they just did not want to like face everybody. That's how like embarrassing it was. But in spite of that, Hal Warren found a distributor that distributed it in I fuck up that word all the time. Distributed
add it
it
to the
in
list.
drive-ins in Texas and New Mexico. Emerson Enterprises, and it basically faded into obscurity. It like got syndicated as like a part of TV packages, and that's eventually how it wound up in the hands of the writers at Mystery Science Theater. And of course, the rest is history. They were on Comedy Central at the time, which I missed out on that whole wave. I didn't grow up with Mystery Science Theater. I was too young, and I didn't have cable also at that time. So I missed the Mystery Science Theater on Comedy Central stuff, and it was really sad. But that was how this movie found new life. Was they called it like easily the worst, one of the weirdest, worst films that they had ever had on their show, which they watched so many weird, terrible films. So the trailers that we're going to see for the break are other films that are considered the worst of all time, were also shown on Mystery Science Theater, that are also in the public domain, which means at some point we'll watch these films. So the first is for a movie called The Beast of Yucca Flats, which stars Tor Johnson, who we just saw in our season 5 finale, Bride of the Monster, playing Lugosi's monster manservant Lobo.
Does he talk in this movie?
No, he does not. Because this was another cheap movie where they didn't record sound while they shot it. And so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of narration and he doesn't have any dialogue. So The Beast of Yucca Flats, which has a terrible reputation. The next trailer we're going to see is for a film called Ega, which is about a caveman that gets loose in what at that day, in that time, it's modern day 1960, mid 60s, right? And the caveman is played by Richard Kiel, who played the bad guy Jaws in James Bond, in the James Bond movies, who had the metal teeth. And he also played in Happy Gilmore. He's the very big guy
with the metal teeth.
Does he have metal teeth? No,
he has
doesn't.
metal teeth in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really bad braces. But he's the guy in Happy Gilmore who the bad guy has to hit a golf ball off of his foot, and they don't like each other, so he beats him up or something. I can't remember, but Anyway, it's a ridiculous movie. And then we've got 3 trailers because I wanted to have a bit of a longer break. It is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And we've seen that trailer before. Obviously, it's more of a Christmas offering. It probably will be our Christmas special this year. So might as well go ahead and show the trailer for it.
Yeah, look forward to that.
But it's also considered one of the worst films of all time. And it's just really cheesy. And so and they're all public domain, so we're gonna get to see all these movies eventually. I don't even think I have EGOT down on the list, but yeah, EGOT's public domain. I knew that. There's a few that I found out today that I'm like, oh yeah, I thought that was public domain, but I forgot about it. So the list is growing. We have plenty of public domain offerings for you guys, but we're going to see these 3 trailers for some of the worst films of all time that were also featured on Mystery Science Theater. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of Manos, The Hands of Fate. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Coming to this theater soon, The Beast of Yucca Flats. Filmed on the burning hot sands by Yucca Flats. See terror, panic, murder. See the Cardoza and Francis production of The Beast of Yucca Flats. See a man turn killer. See a woman ravaged. See one of the most exciting movies ever made. See The Beast of Yucca Flats. A killer on the loose. Death sweeps across the desert. Panic. A bloodthirsty killer stalks a moonlit desert. See The Beast of Yucca Flats.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen is the name written in blood. Ega!
If I could just call you on the phone.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Archwell Jr.
The old rock house on the Brownsville Road. Crazy things happen according to the code. You turn to the left at the sun.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl. Noah. Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. Then lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Ega's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Ega talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Ega.
Blast off! For the most wonderful science fiction fun and adventure a boy or a girl or a grown-up ever enjoy. Meet Billy and Betty as they encounter the fierce Martians. It's so exciting, so amazing, you'll want to tell all your friends about that wondrous day when red-faced Santa meets the green-faced Martians. You'll see it all when Josephine Levine presents Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. From the moment when the spaceship kidnaps Billy and Betty, here are some of the incredible things you'll actually see as Santa Claus conquers the Martians. You'll hardly believe your eyes as a giant Martian robot captures Billy and Betty. The evil Voldar imprisons Billy, Betty, and Santa in a space death chamber. Will they escape? The people of Earth give the signal that sends their mighty Air Force into space to rescue Santa. Surprise meeting. Earth kids meet Martian kids. Santa sets up a fantastic automatic toy factory on Mars. The Martian leader battles the wicked Voldar in a desperate effort to save Santa. The wise man of Mars. 900 years old. The Battle of the Toys, when Martian kids and Earth kids join Santa to battle the bad guys of Mars. For real space-age fun, you'll be out of this world when Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Freeze frame.
Freeze frame. And we are back. So, yeah. The Beast of Yucca Flats, EGOT, and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. So, all respectively considered some of the worst films of all time.
Oh, how can you say that? Those movies looked great.
They're at least like 50% more competent than the film that we've been watching tonight. I mean, there's at least some basic understanding of framing and where you place the camera and just all these things that aren't coming from Texas theater people.
Yeah,
who are making a movie for the first time.
Yeah, after the movie's done, we gotta talk about what it means to be the worst movie ever.
It's a great thing to kind of go into. So yeah, I mean it is it's subjective, but we'll touch on it. But this movie so far, it has been surreal, it has been strange, it has been very enjoyable.
Surprisingly so, I think.
Yeah. Definitely, having not seen this before, I expected it to be a little more boring, a little more, because certainly,
I mean, stuff's happening. I think Torgo's really carrying it between him and the Master. It's just so weird.
They make it fun. They do. The Master, I mean, again, yeah. He's certainly given it his all, and Torgo's just on another planet.
Right.
As was pointed out earlier, he's basically on Mars.
I joined this cult so I can astral project.
He's doing a really good job of it. He's all over the place. I mean, it has been, so far, it's been a very enjoyable movie. And again, that was kind of what Mystery Science Theater did, is it brought this movie kind of a whole new level of appreciation, and that cult classic appeal that helps the movie find a fan base. And this movie, after being shown on Mystery Science Theater, obviously found a huge fan base. And so, of course, people have been inspired and made other things, but the biggest, kind of most prominent thing about this movie was that it was restored. Again, if you saw it on Mystery Science Theater, the print that you saw was a very murky copy of a copy of a copy print that again, some of these night scenes that we've seen, I couldn't imagine watching that print and trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because it was just really, really, really bad. And and it would have stayed that way except for the fact that Ben Solovey, this cameraman from Chattanooga, Tennessee, found these 16 millimeter film cans that were being auctioned off, and they had labels on them that said like Manos, The Hands of Fate, and some other kind of cult horror movies. And he just thought that they were prints. You know, he didn't think that he was stumbling on the rare find that he found, which was the work print for Manos, The Hands of Fate, the original 16 millimeter work print. The distributor had it, and it went to like the distributor's grandson, and then he auctioned it off to get rid of the film cans. And Ben Solovey bought it, and when he like looked at it, realized, oh shit, like this is
the Storage Wars moment.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, it is an amazing find. And so he went around trying to like find different people to invest the money to restore it. And you know, he talked to some different people, just couldn't find the right fit. Eventually went through Kickstarter and ended up having a really successful Kickstarter campaign, raised like 5 times what he had asked for. And he found it in 2011, and the restoration didn't finally get released until 2015. And so it was obviously in 2015. Well, from when it was found in 2011 to when it was released in 2015, Manos saw a surge in popularity there. That's when the video game came out, which you guys have talked about, which it's an 8-bit style video game called Manos, The Hands of Fate, and Torgo's in it. And it's a whole, I haven't played it, but again, we're gonna have to speed
I'm playing
run
it right now. I'm playing it right now, guys. I'll let you guys know how it ends.
Okay, sweet, perfect.
The side stream.
Yeah, side stream. He's simul streaming.
We're multi-streaming.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, but then simul streaming.
Simul streaming? Is that a real term?
Now it is.
That's a cool.
Yeah.
That's not a word.
Now it is. Oh, it is.
Welcome to the future. We're simul streaming.
But you know, it inspired that game. It inspired some stage shows. There's Manos, the rock opera of fate. There's Manos, the Hands of Felt.
Oh my gosh! So they've gone full The Room with it.
Yeah, and I mean, again, in 2018, there was a sequel released called Manos Returns, which has Jackie Neiman reprising her role as Debbie, who now obviously grown up. It also has the mother reprising her role. And the master, Tom Neiman, he was like filmed footage for it before he ended up passing away, but he reprises his role as the master, and obviously very old, but still playing the master. That same year, a prequel came out called Manos, The Rise of Torgo. And so 2018 was a big year for Manos, you know, the Manos universe. But
Manos Mania, we call it.
Manos Mania, that was the name for that time period. But it didn't you know, obviously all that stuff was possible because the film was in the public domain, and it's in the public domain because there's no copyright symbol on the film itself, and there was no copyright for the film registered. So it's been assumed in the public domain. But once the news of the restoration came out, Hal Warren's son Joe started kind of saying, no, I have copyright over this movie. I found a script of the film which the copyright was filed for, and so I have copyright on the film. So he was against the restoration. And the girl playing Debbie, she was like helping promote the restoration. She was like promoting it on Facebook. The director's son, Joe, went on her Facebook page and was like, we need to talk about this. You're selling all this merch. and it was this whole thing. And so Jackie wrote back saying, well, you know, My mother made the robe. My father made the painting. He made these sculptures. You have them all. I want them back. Because apparently Hal Warren and then his son Joe, they would wear the Manos robe every Halloween. But you know, her mother made the costumes, her dad made the painting, all this stuff. So she's like, well, I want it all back.
Yeah, to be fair, I would do the same thing. If I owned that thing, I would wear it every
Right, 100%. I mean, it looks so comfortable. So it just there started being all this drama. Joe tried to file a trademark on the title, and he ended up abandoning it. And apparently, Solovey applied for copyright on his restoration. We're showing the restoration, and the reason is, I mean, there are no legal precedents, but the United States does not have a sweat of brow doctrine. And so if you're restoring something to its original state, that doesn't count as new original material that can be copyrighted. If something's in the public domain, it's always in the public domain, even if it's a restoration. That is one argument. Again, there's been no court cases that have set a precedent yet. So other people would argue, no, that's not true. But then, you know, Joe Warren is saying that the restoration copyright is invalid because he has a copyright on the movie, and that trumps everything. So it's all so murky that I think it's fine that we're showing the restored version. I think it's good to see the restored version. Again, you see it in a new light. You see things that literally you couldn't see before. So I think it's good that we're watching the restoration. And again, all credit to Ben Solovey for that, but public domain's public domain, so we're showing it. So and it's showing it. It's on YouTube. Again, everything we show is on YouTube. That's how streams work. You just go on YouTube and you stream what you watch. That's what this is. We're no different. But this movie's just had such a crazy history, and right down to finally getting to the state that we can see it tonight, and all this copyright drama and all this other stuff. But it is a legendary film. So I'm very excited to see how it all winds up. Anything?
So where were we at? Where the daughter is still missing?
I thought she came back inside.
Did she come back in?
I thought she came back inside.
Okay.
The father got knocked out.
Oh, that's it.
I guess something. Also, the mother is indisposed in some way at the moment. The brides were fighting. The wives of the master were all tumbling around in the sand with each other. And it looked like the master was about to kill Torgo.
There's a lot of
moving
in
parts
play right now.
Yeah, certainly. So that's a little recap. But yeah, so what do we think? I mean, again, well, you guys have both seen this, so I mean, Evan and of course Fresh, absolutely. So
yeah, I've seen it more than Evan has. I've seen it the same amount of times, but it's like I've
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Of course.
I don't think I ever watched the ending, actually. I do not remember how this movie ends.
Oh, I watched the ending. I can tell you what happens right
now. Okay, well, don't spoil it, because I just hate the spoilers.
No spoilers on this show. We don't like it. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this concludes. So I think Fresh, if you have it queued up,
I do.
We're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of Manos, The Hands of Fate, right now.
This just sounds like a new Kendrick album.
Uh-oh. Ooh. wife's not gonna like this. Mike. Yeah, it's kind of bad if you're a writer, director, producer, star, and then this is, you know, about as gratuitous as Quentin Tarantino sucking on Selma Hayek's foot in From Dusk Till Dawn. Slapping him, man. Jeez, that's very 60s. What they called roughies back then.
I thought it was pronounced differently, but.
Oh my god, they're having a whole WrestleMania over here.
There's
This is
still
going
wrestling.
on. Shove her face in the sand. Like you mean it.
Are they still fighting about the same thing?
Yeah.
Whether or not to
They're gonna kill the
save
kid.
the child.
Tear her wig off.
That's all this whole like circle of characters, that's all they've done this whole film. It's
Fight.
wake up and then fight about whether or not to kill this kid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Callie, you're on the same note. It's all just very gratuitous. It's like, we are in the mind, and I saw this in an article earlier today. We're in the mind of Hal Warren right now. I'm the director, and this is what we're gonna do. And very much the mind of a middle-aged man in the mid-60s.
Michael, where are you?
Ow. Jeez. Oh, nice. Nice.
Oh my
Ooh, good.
That's good. We keep seeing these little hints.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta get in there.
Foolishness is this? Manos must be served.
There you are. She is the one. She has upset all of our plans.
This foolishness must stop.
So they're a cult of Manos, god of hands. Hand god.
There has been enough trouble. Our purpose must be served. There will be no further insolence.
But the child. We cannot kill a child. Yes, we can.
You have caused enough
Right back
trouble.
to square one.
As soon as we have
Yeah,
disposed of Torgo's
didn't make any
and
progress. All that fighting for
Your
nothing.
power fails you. I have no more fear.
seize her and prepare her
I'm
for
not scared of
sacrifice.
you. Oh shit. It does look very evil.
Well done, my wives. The wheel of Manos shall be served.
God, I love that thing too much. The
I think he loves it.
he obviously loves it, yeah. So this is what I think it is. Read about this a lot today in my research.
It is the will of Manos that he be sacrificed.
Kill Torgo, but he takes care of the place
who's
while
gonna
you're away.
Who's gonna take care of the place?
Well, to be fair, he wasn't really doing it.
Yeah.
Kill. Manos has decreed it. Kill.
Kill. Is that killing? Is that how you kill somebody?
Yep. Yeah, that's how you kill somebody.
They're getting them. Regular kill Nye over here.
Yeah, I think I read multiple sources today, and then Torgo gets massaged to death, right?
That's how I want to go.
No, I the music is just the right amount of manic. I mean it is going there. It's got that same frenetic energy the movie is just
It has the
putting off.
Has the film always had this score?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't remember the music being this crazy.
It's going hard.
It really is. I appreciate it. I really like what the score is doing. It's just, it's a big swing.
Yeah, I mean, and for not having a lot, I mean, it's really just like
They should have put some sound effects in this.
That
They should have
really-
made it more of a soundscape.
Well-
But they also should have spent more than 8 hours editing the film.
That's true. That would have helped a little bit. Sound mixing's always going to take much longer than 8 hours, so they just didn't have the time. Oh, here we go. There's some sound effects.
Yeah, finally.
Enough! The ceremony is done.
It's too late. We smushed his face to death.
Yeah, they really did. They loved him up to death. Yeah, they did put the soundtrack on vinyl. Very good call.
We need that.
Yeah.
We do. I gotta add it to my vinyl collection. I have the Bride of Frankenstein score on vinyl, so I gotta just start buying horror movie vinyls. White Zombie score has a vinyl just released recently.
Torgo's looking not very dead there.
No, he's still got some fight left in him. Uh-oh. Ah! 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 Damn! Got him. It's a pretty good hand.
Yeah, you
That
really
is a
gotta
good
hand
hand.
it to him. He gets it. This guy. It's not that funny. It wasn't that good of a joke.
Killing doesn't help anymore. You're all finished.
All right, now you're just being an asshole. It wasn't that funny.
You don't have to be so mean about it.
You've said enough. Your turn will come as soon
I
as
don't
we
think I could be
dispose of the
holding
others.
that, like, flaming thing in my hand like
Before the
that.
night slips away.
Not wearing that big robe. Who knows what the fabric is made of?
It's something flammable, I'm sure.
Zoom in on the fire and then
But the window, Mike. I saw
Smart,
him.
just
That
cut away.
window.
Okay, honey, we'll leave. We'll leave.
We've got to leave now. I can't stand it any longer. Please, Mike.
how are you gonna leave?
We'll hide in the desert. Someone will help.
The gods will destroy you. Your power fails. You cannot endure.
There's no power failures here. We don't have electricity.
The gods destroy me.
So much slapping in this film.
Yeah.
Destroy
A
me.
physical film.
I am permanent. Manos has made me permanent.
Your power fails you.
Ooh, a little bit of
You are
blood.
losing your control.
Or her lipstick just
Even
smeared really
Torgo
bad.
defied you.
And he was destroyed even as you shall be.
Your power does not affect me anymore. Even your other wives do not trust you. See?
Yeah,
I
bro.
do not fear
Huh.
you, even though you beat
Classic
me,
wives
beat
for
me,
you, right? Am I right?
beat
my god. So much blood.
Oh, Jesus.
I do not fear you.
Oh my god. Damn. Brutal. Well, he's got blood on his face. Shit.
Oh my god.
He slapped her to death.
That's his
That's a
true
lot of
power.
slapping.
Well, think about it. He's like he's a priest of Manos, god of hands.
That's true.
He's got the powerful
He does.
slap.
No, darling, we'll make it. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean,
100% fat.
yeah, it was He's dripping. There's got to be a lot of fat content.
Nothing up that way. Let's
Certainly had a lot of fat in his leg and his knees, and that's what all that was. His fat just distributed to weird spots. So the stunt double fault that just fell down the hill was the guy in the car, that was making out with the girl.
That was his other role.
That was
in
his
this
other
movie.
role. Yeah.
Just to fall down this hill.
Yeah.
He did a great job. Took it like a pro.
Knows how to fall just like Buster Keaton.
We've got to keep going.
We've got to keep going.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling.
They have gone. They have left the house.
Yeah, it's like, do the wives have power? Like, come on, whip out your powers. What kind of cult are you?
Find them. They must not escape. Find them.
No, leave him alone. We cannot kill a child.
Enough talk.
This is a problem that hands can't solve.
Will be served.
We have to serve Manos.
All I wanted to do was go on vacation.
I can't make it, Mike.
I'm never letting you pick where we go on vacation again, Mike.
Save baby. Save Debbie.
We're gonna let Debbie choose. Walking around the desert, not worrying about your veil getting caught in the
Barefoot,
in the
red
brush.
sandals.
Manos is a dish best served good.
No, Maggie, we can make it. We'll rest here for a minute. We can make it.
How's it going, Callie?
They'll never think of looking for us at the house.
You know, you might have a point there.
Please, Mike. Please, I can't go any farther.
Listen, we can lock ourselves in the kitchen. I have my gun.
What? Nice. I love the most muffled stock gun shooting.
We'll have to go back.
Okay. It might be the safest place, especially since they're out here looking for us.
Scared, I'm scared. Where's my puppy?
Please, Debbie, not now.
That bitch, she dubbed my voice. I can't believe she did that. That's what that little girl was saying in the theater the whole time she was watching the premiere.
Yeah, here we go. I wonder where the sheriff is. I was hoping that maybe the stunt double, like, falling down that hill would somehow summon the sheriff. The
Look at
character's
that.
just down there making out or something.
Smells like someone's been making out over here.
Well, at least this is a pretty good case of setup and payoff. At the very least, they're getting that.
Yeah? The sheriff has been a character, kind of.
I love the jump cuts, man. I love that. I love
it's
knowing that they
schlocky.
only had 32 seconds to get like certain things. So it's so funny when you just like, Yep, that's just what it's like sometimes. You
It's just
jump.
the scene's just gonna jump around a bunch.
It's fine. Reminds me of the early days of my own filmmaking. You know, you just you cut it together the best it'll cut and go from there.
Sometimes you cut really quick into the next scene.
Well, hopefully okay, so not pay off quite yet, but at least that storyline's continuing. Let's hope it pays off. Ooh, God, that's creepy, dude.
It really
Oh.
is. It's so weird.
Oh my God.
So their plan did not work at all.
Ooh.
Their plan was, oh, they're out searching for us. We should go back because it's safer there. But he's just back. He beat him back.
I'm confused,
Yeah,
bro. Are they in the same room or not?
It's hard to tell. Point blank. Focus, focus.
Does this guy have powers, or is he just a really bad shot?
This should explain all of that.
We're gonna get a poverty row style wrap up here.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to just stretch and be like, wow, honey, that sure was a weird dream.
Sure is good to get away. Damn the rain.
Vacations are fine, but this one should be great.
Yeah, the gang's coming up for the weekend. What a blast.
Yep, Ford commercial again.
Look at this new convertible, this auto convertible. Don't you want to drive in class?
Or scenic. Just when you thought you could get away from the scenic driving
We've come
shots.
full circle.
That's what a movie should do. You end how you started.
You start with somber flute music, you end with somber flute music.
Right.
I don't understand what's going on.
We're just on another storyline.
We're in New
I'm
Game
just along for
Plus.
the ride.
Yep, pretty much.
I'm back to the, what is the Valley Lodge?
Yeah, Valley Lodge.
They're still at it?
Every day at the same
Holy
time we go
cow.
back to this spot and suck face.
Our lips are so chafed.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Whoa. Oh, he's the new Torgo.
Oh!
I am Michael. I take care of the place while the master is away.
That's a yikes, right?
Yeah, that is one of the things that, I mean, even in my research for this movie came up. Obviously, that implies that the master's taken on Debbie as a bride, so.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's
What an
just
ending.
gotta pull the source up here. That's a yikes for sure.
Source up right here.
Yeah, we'll yikes that, but. And here we get the credits. And the song is back.
Is a thing that I cannot do.
It's a banger.
Yet I
Rip. Pour one out. for
So
John
they,
Renz.
so they never do address the leg thing. What's with the legs?
It's just he's messed up, dude.
Why are his legs?
Again.
It's just it didn't happen to Mike.
His
That's
legs
true.
like that.
Again, he wasn't supposed to be a satyr. It was just something that like he was supposed to be deformed, but instead of being like hunchback, they just decided that his legs would be all messed up.
love that this has an original score and it still doesn't make any sense.
No, the song doesn't make it. It's a love song. It has nothing to do with.
They told these guys to do the music and they just submitted music they already had.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty astute observation. I do love this recap of everything over the credits. That's a nice way to do it. So a lot of the credits are like those. Some of those names are made up. It's just like Thomas Ivy is Tom Neiman. Like it's
Glenn Inc.
No.
That doesn't sound real either.
Oh no, Glenn is real. Glenn has done the sound for, been the sound studio for a lot of movies. It gets credited on a lot of stuff. It doesn't sound real, but I've always noticed that credit when I see it. Glenn.
All right. Follow-up question. What did the sound studio do on this movie?
I don't think, I think maybe it's just the equipment. I'm not sure why they would have to credit Glenn, but a lot of people did, and I'm like, well, Glenn's not a person. It's not, so I don't know why they're crediting Glenn, but that's, I need to know more about
the
it.
ADR place or
Question
something?
mark? Yeah, probably something like that, I think.
You said it had a sequel, right?
Yes. So there was Manos the Returns. There's actually a TV series sequel that has been made starring Jackie Neiman as Debbie called The Manos Chronicles. So there have been sequels, yeah. It's the story's not over if you want more. Well, that was Manos, The Hands of Fate. So what did we think, boys?
Sheesh, what is just a weird, kind of a weird movie. It look, do you guys think that this deserves to be called the worst movie of all time?
No.
I don't. I think of all time is a little bit of, it's just such a nebulous kind of thing. Like it just gets very subjective when you have that wide of a umbrella of what it could be. And I think that there's a lot of incompetence, clearly. Like, again, my thing is that a lot of the profile shots are just straight up from the side. Like they're not allowing you to see at least a part of the other side of their face. It is just totally from the side. Like even The Room doesn't do it has, whoever was doing the cinematography for The Room had formal training, formal knowledge of how to frame a shot. Like in this, you don't even have that, because the people involved were not feature filmmakers. They didn't know about they were theater people. Again, they got their hands on a camera that could shoot for 30 seconds at a time, and they were able to make a whole movie.
It is pretty impressive.
It actually is.
If the thought of making a feature-length film, 30-second clips,
right?
We're gonna string together 1,000 TikToks into
So when you think about it like that, the things that are up against a movie like this even being made, I don't think that you can discount that in saying, oh, this is the worst movie ever made. I think saying one of the worst movies ever made is fair, because there's just incompetence.
I feel like there's got to be, there is an infinite sea of really bad movies that you just never see, and this is just one that happened to kind of float to the top, and you see this one.
Yeah, I mean, actually your point is very good. And
do you think that maybe this film shouldn't have been distributed? Maybe it was just kind of it's just a schlocky, amateurish regional film.
No, I mean, I think that's the thing, is that I think that you're making a very good point in the fact that this, because of Mystery Science Theater, it bubbled up to the top, and it's just probably one of the most well-known regional public domain horror films, independent horror films, right?
Because
But there are so many that we don't know about.
Super popular movie in the world, but not the
Right.
worst.
Like there's so many VHS, like shot on VHS horror movies that are considered. Like there's a movie called Things that is on that Wikipedia list of the worst movies of all time, and it's a shot on VHS horror film from the late 80s. And it's, I mean, again, it is all about the limitations of your technology and what you got. And like, if you're able to get any kind of distribution, that's at least, that counts for something. But I think that like having the Mystery Science Theater like national spotlight, or at least the fact that they're they at the time were broadcasting on Comedy Central, it kind of allowed it to like rise to the top. So all this other stuff that you don't really know about or haven't heard about is actually really good. Or, well, I say really good, enjoyable, but you could also call it bad and say it's one of the worst films of all time. You just don't know because it's not as publicized.
I mean, without, Mystery Science Theater, do you think that this would have just become lost media, like at some point?
I think that it would probably
faded away.
I think that it'd probably be finding an audience like literally right now, because right now there's a big push to kind of find these obscure movies that have slipped through the cracks and help them find an audience, because you have all these specialty Blu-ray companies. Like you have Vinegar Syndrome and you have Shout Factory and Scream Factory is kind of bigger, but then you have like more specialty labels like again, Vinegar Syndrome, and there's more, and I should be thinking of them and I can't off the top of my head, but there's a lot that are kind of devoted to finding these obscure movies that don't really have an audience. And even in this streaming day and age, it seems like some of these films are at least getting more of a cult following than they ever have had, because it's like, oh, now it's on Blu-ray, so a certain number of people are going to buy it, and all of a sudden it's got a new fandom that it never had before. I'm learning about movies I never heard of like every day that I'm like, oh, like that sounds interesting. And they're also saying it's really bad and really like cheesy. And, just like this film just had the luxury of kind of being one of the only films of its type when it hit big in the 90s, right? Like there were really only a handful of films this bad. Now so many films are intentionally trying to be this bad, like you go on Tubi and you find so many movies that are meant to be just like, they're just so incompetent, but because they're a certain length, they can be put on Tubi and they're making money. And I mean, that was kind of basically the same principles that was being applied to this day and age, that for a movie like Manos, it may be bad, but we'll get it into a couple drive-ins and hopefully we'll make our money back, and like now with streaming, it's kind of like a possibility. And that's just, it's the same stuff. It just, with the technology changes, it's the approach of the filmmaking changes. So I don't know. It's yeah, and see, Callie, I haven't seen any of those lucha movies, but there are like so many, like Santo versus the Vampire Woman. Yeah, there's like they're meeting monsters and I mean, and that's the thing about Mystery Science Theater, it's so much more than just horror. It's all this obscure kind of strange stuff that has surreal qualities and that for whatever reason is deserving of some kind of cult appeal. And we're a horror movie show, but we certainly branch out into our cult.
We dabble.
We certainly dabble. And again, tonight is as cult of a film as you can get. It's about a weird cult, and it's certainly one of the all-time cult movies. But is it the worst movie of all time? No, it's obviously not. But
It wasn't a good movie though.
No, but it was interesting and it
It
kept
is
your
interesting.
attention.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Again, there's something to be said for when you are forced to cut it almost every 30 seconds. That is almost designed for the modern attention span. Even if it's dissonant and you're like, wait, what's happening? Why are we switching? Like, what's going on?
There were times where it would cut really suddenly, and it felt like one of those videos that's been designed by an AI, where it's like it's a little uncanny. It's like not quite there.
Certainly how the voiceover came across or the dubbing came across at certain points. It was, I mean, especially like, again, all the female voices being dubbed by one woman. It's kind of, you can tell after a certain point. It's just like, wait, it's just something right. Something's not right about
Having
this.
an argument with yourself.
Yeah, something's strange, but something's off about this. But it was very enjoyable. I thought it was very. Manos deserves every stone thrown at it. You know, Andy. I don't know. I think we could. And one thing on this show, like, I mean, there are just sometimes in some of these really boring movies, even some really beautiful shots or just some effective shots that we can always appreciate. And again, that shot, the final shot of the master, I guess, where he's walking through that doorway, there was just something about that was very like raw and very, I don't know, it kind of got me all squirmy. It got me feeling all
Yeah, things tend to look raw when you don't take the time to edit them.
Well, it's very true. But I don't know. There was something.
There were some glimmers of competence in this film.
There were. I mean, I think anytime you're trying to make a movie, no matter how incompetent it turns out, there's always going to be some things that you actually like. You're getting close to a real movie. I mean, if you're trying, you're gonna get close, but sometimes the odds are just stacked up against you, and certainly Manos. I mean, the dubbing doesn't help, and I don't know. Again, since this was the restoration, I didn't see it, and I know it happens really fast. But obviously, in the more well-known public domain version, in the scene where the couple's making out in the car, you can see the slate being like pulled out of frame really fast. I didn't notice it.
I didn't see
but
it.
I have seen it on the old copy, and it is just, again, that's kind of a prime example of what they were
right. You
what was
think
going on.
You spend longer than one working day editing this thing.
Right.
You catch that.
You do. But they didn't. So that's how you end up with just such a weird movie like Manos: The Hands of Fate. So I mean, yeah. The one other myth that I wanted to dispel that I forgot to touch on earlier. There's a documentary called Hotel Torgo that said that there was a Manos death curse, and that all the actors associated with the film died mysterious deaths and died early. Not true. Again, the guy who played the master lived until 2016. His daughter's still alive. She goes to cons. She's like doing all kinds of Manos stuff. She's very like active in the horror fandom community. She's embraced the fandom of Manos. And even Hal Warren said that he was proud of he knew it was a bad film, but he was proud. And I think any filmmaker feels that way. You're going to see the mistakes in your own work, but you're still going to kind of feel
I did it.
I did it. Like, I got this done, and I feel I'm happy that I did it. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how filmmaking is. The odds are always almost stacked against you, and at the end of the day, if you have a product to show for it, you could accomplish something. He won his bet. You know? That's the beauty of the whole
That's all that matters.
story. That's all that matters. You make a bet with a guy and you win the bet. That's all that matters in life. I think that was the lesson that we learned from tonight's film. So that was Manos: The Hands of Fate. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in. We had some new viewers tuning in tonight, and it's been a lot of fun. We love having audience participation. That's one of the main things that I've always wanted to, kind of incorporate in the show. And so it's been fun tonight. We've had Callie, we've had Andy, we've had Save the Tigers. We've had a lot of new friends hanging out with us tonight. So it's been a lot of fun. So we appreciate it. And of course our old timers S Sync and Sweet Feet popping in. We couldn't do it without the support of all our viewers. So thanks everybody. It's been a great episode. And we have got yes, let me tell you something. Any kind of schlock is better than anything coming out in theaters these days. So we have got some schlock lined up for you for the next 9+ weeks. Because we'll take a break at some point in the middle of the season, more than likely. But plenty of schlock lined up. Next week, we are going into the realm of giant monsters. It's been a while since we've had a giant monster movie, I believe. And so next week we're going to be watching Attack of the Giant Leeches, which is, yes, the eyebrow raise was very appropriate. It is
How giant are we talking here?
Like
bigger than a giant rabbit?
No, but bigger than a giant shrew.
Okay.
Like the size of a human, basically. Like let's say you took a human and you took like a really heavy comforter and you wrapped them in the comforter and you said, okay, now that's a leech. That's like what the scale that we're working on.
Okay. That seemed really specific. Is that foreshadowing something from the film?
That's the leeches for you, man. Giant leeches is it's a lot of fun. And it's also, guess what? It's first movie in a while that we've had from Corman.
Hey.
Oh wait, sorry. That's not Roger Corman, that's Gene Corman, and that's Roger Corman's brother.
Okay.
So
we're hanging out with Roger Corman's brother.
Yeah. The lesser Corman. No, I won't say he's the lesser Corman. But Gene is the producer of Attack of the Giant Leeches. So good to have a Corman back in our midst. It's been a minute. We love our Roger Corman movies, so a Gene Corman movie is just as good. It's giant monsters. So it should be a lot of fun. We're very excited. Again, it's just in talking about the monster costume, the low quality of it is what makes the schlockiness of the movie. So, but it's got some effective stuff too. So I'm very excited for it. But you can join us next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for Attack of the Giant Leeches. And you can also join us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be watching chapters of Undersea Kingdom. We just watched the first chapter this past Wednesday. It was a lot of fun.
We're hanging out with Flash Gordon. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Not Clash Corrigan.
You're close.
Crash
Corrigan.
Crash Corrigan. Yeah.
Mr.
Crash Corrigan. Yes. We're gonna be on chapter 2 of Undersea Kingdom. And we're already under the sea. So we're gonna see just what's happening down there. Yeah, see, I haven't seen I haven't seen giant leeches either. I don't know if Leech Woman is public domain, but that's another. Leeches were a thing for a little bit. Who knew? Good monster leeches. I mean, they suck blood. Leech Mania. Yep, that's right. There was
the public. What are people scared of nowadays?
Leeches. Yeah, I mean, well, it was like that was when there was that new kind of like medicine craze where they're like, let's go back to the old medicine and use leeches to get rid of the diseases. That was like the 60s, right? And so that was.
Well, did that come back in style in the 60s?
It's just
okay.
I'm just.
I would believe it.
I'm sure someone experimented with that. It's not out of the.
There's gotta be somebody out there.
I'm sure.
Big numbers.
I believe that there was. But yeah, so you can catch us next Wednesday and next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are also over on all the socials, we're on Instagram and Twitter at Screamstream Show. Of course, we're on YouTube at Screamstream Live. You can find me over on Twitter at Spakenstein. Find Mr. Fresh Rogan over on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh Rogan. And indeed, well, you gotta give it that bomb drop, because Fresh is always dropping some bombs, let me tell you. And of course, Mr. Evan Sink on Twitter at Caligari Cursed. So again, thanks. Gotta give it up. It's the premiere of the Summer of Schlock, and it couldn't have been better. It was...
Hey, guys.
Hey, Fred.
We got that Schlock on lock.
Oh,
there we
go. That was genius.
There's your hashtag.
On that note, sweet screams, everybody.
Creep tight.
And to all, a good fright.
With my clock on.